What's up, guys? Today we are bringing the 2JZ Civic over to a friend's, and we're finally getting this thing finished up. As you guys know, I got this thing years ago, back when we were still in Colorado, and this thing has taken a ton of time, and it is getting very close. I'd say the car is about 70% of the way there, but it still needs a lot of little things done, and that final 10% of doing a race car build always takes the longest. And with where I'm at currently, if I try to work on this here myself, it's going to take another year or two, honestly, with everything else going on. So I would really just love to try to get some help and get this thing up and going. And that's where our friend comes in, who knows quite a bit about race cars, and he's not too far from us, which you guys will see where we're going here in a second. But we went ahead, got the 2J Civic pulled out of its hole here. I got everything gathered up with the car here that can go along with it. Got the M&H transmission, the converter. It has both the carbon fiber doors. Got a couple other things that we'll show you guys once we bring it over to the new spot. The plan with this car was we were going to try to get it up and running right before Wyatt left. That was the plan, but it was still just a lot of tedious little things. Some of the final things that we got done were the throttle cable, and we were starting to get working on the brakes, so it does actually have pedals in there as well, along with the brake cylinder mounted up here on the firewall. But it still needs all the brake lines ran, the brakes done. It needs the fuel system finished up, lines, regulator mounted, lots of little stuff that we'll go over here once we get it dropped off at a new place, and get the front end on there, all that stuff. But like I said, about 70% of the way there. All of the main big stuff is done other than wiring the car. Everything else is, just a small tedious task, but there is still a lot of them that need done. So about time we get this thing up and running, and gonna go ahead, load it up, and hopefully in the next few weeks, we should have a very close to running car. The final step will be the wiring though, so we'll figure that out once everything else is buttoned up and good to go. All right, guys, we got the 2J Civic over here at CJ Race Cars, and it's probably the first Honda build you've done in here, I want to say. Have you ever had a Honda Civic?
Yeah, but not. It was an employee brought his car here on a weekend to work on it. We have never actually worked on a Honda Civic.
So glad we can be the first Honda in this shop full of very serious muscle cars, mainly Camaros, and a lot of very fast 6 to 5 second quarter-mile cars. The Civic's not quite on the level that a lot of these vehicles they build are, but I reached out to CJ asking if he could give us a hand with it, and they said, yeah, really no better guy to bring it to, I think, in the state of Florida.
I appreciate
to help it go fast.
I appreciate that. And it's still going to be a fast car.
Yeah, you guys have done some 2JZ stuff as well.
Yeah, we've done some 2J stuff and a few rotaries.
So I'm excited, and we're hoping to have it turned around in a decent amount of time. How long do you think she'll live here?
There's a decent amount of stuff, but it's all really little stuff, so I don't think it'll be maybe a few weeks.
A few weeks, okay. That's optimistic. I mean, obviously these guys want to get stuff. They do get stuff done quick. Did you have the list of all the stuff that we needed to kind of get done on it while she's here?
Mount headlights and hood.
Yep. Okay, let's go over some of that stuff. We got the headlights in here. And there's some, smoked EK headlights. Got off the old eBay.com. Going on the Pro Mod Civic, but that's all we need.
Street car.
We got a lot of the fuel system stuff right here. We got all this stuff from Aeromotive right here. Got a regulator, filters, all the good stuff. It is going to need all the lines done as well, and that's something else I was going to tell you. I do also have a ton of our own AN lines and fittings, so anything else that you guys might need, I can just kind of bring some of that over as well. And these are all the Fuel Tech injectors right here. That's something else that we still need to double check, and I guess you would have to let me know, is it has 2 fuel rails for 2 sets of injectors on the intake. I still need to double check that the Fuel Tech injectors will work along with the, I believe we're going to do 1200s for the driving set. So we just got to make sure that that all fits okay. And then these came with spacers to cut the lengths for however high you need the fuel rails to be.
Yeah, 3-speed or 2-speed?
3-speed. It's a 400, yeah. So we got this guy as well from M&H. So you're very familiar.
Yep. You got fuel lines and injectors we just talked about. Space the converter, which put a gear in the center section.
Oh, yeah.
Center section.
We have the center section.
It's in there. We're just swapping.
Yep.
Okay. Drive shaft enclosure, chromoly drive shaft enclosure. Lexan install, which you have all the windows that are for this car.
I want to open those up with you as well
Okay.
to make sure that all the windows are right.
Okay.
Because I haven't opened them yet. I just left them in the
Yeah, just to make sure.
packaging.
Perfect. Finished brake lines, which we talked about.
Yeah, so right now the 2J Civic has no breaker lines ran, just the master is mounted up on the firewall.
Yeah.
Right there. And also if there's anything on the car that you think could be improved or subject to change,
Okay.
you know, I'm open to anything.
We'll definitely look it over. I mean, it looks, what you
Yeah.
got looks good.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
should be pretty close to
Yeah.
what we need to get it done.
Yeah, I think so for sure. You got order drive shaft, shifter mount, which will be on the drive shaft and the closer. Door latches, make sure they work right. Mount trunk lid, hood, chute mount, I'll change that to dual, and mount alternator.
Oh yeah, the alternator too.
Check out all that.
We don't have an alternator for it, so
Okay.
we're also thinking maybe talk to Victor what they would recommend on a 2J, because we're thinking maybe go something with a higher output than
Yeah.
OEM just for
Okay.
this application. Yeah, the alternator is probably gonna have to be mounted right in this cavity, so this radiator line might need redone slightly or something, just depending on how much room you have right here.
Okay.
But yeah, that'll most likely just have to go off the front plate there on the motor.
Perfect. And you said you have a bunch of lines and stuff?
Yeah, I got a
Okay,
ton of AN
okay,
lines
cool.
and stuff.
Cool.
Because I ordered a big bulk order of them, and I got them for a really good deal. So if you need AN lines, just hit me up. I'll come over with a whole bunch of
Cool.
AN lines, unless they're like specialty ones. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully it's all in there.
Looks like it.
So this right here is a complete Lexan kit for a Civic. This is the front windshield, back glass, both driver and passenger door windows, and the little triangle windows in the back. So
What are these for?
those are actually little block off plates. He always throws those in for me. So
Okay.
if you just got like an engine sitting on the stand, you can just like cover up the ports. So they're basically just Lexan gaskets that don't have the holes cut out. Just,
Perfect.
like, keep debris getting into your
Awesome.
motors when you build them on the stand. So yeah, all this came from YNS Lexan, and we're gonna have these guys putting all the Lexan together on the Civic. I mean, once it has the glass in it and the hood and headlights are in it, I mean, it's gonna look like a car again. It's really close. Like I was saying earlier, it's probably about 70% there.
Yeah,
And then
sure.
the major thing that we're gonna have to figure out during all this is who's gonna wire it and kind of go about that. And go over that hurdle once we get there. But there's still a lot to be done before it gets to that stage. The main thing is we need everything in place, like wherever the regulator is gonna be and all the sensors, because we have to do that before we can even think about wiring it to make sure everything's ran the right lengths and all that good stuff. And I think I did 20% tint all the way around.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it'll have like a slight tint to it, but nothing too crazy. So
Yeah, I like that
pretty
better
good.
than the clear, for sure.
Yeah. And all this stuff is scratch proof, scratch resistant. So yeah, so it's all like that shade.
Yeah, it's nice.
That'll look good.
What color are you gonna do the car? We don't know yet.
Haven't decided.
Okay.
I want to get it running and driving first and kind of shake it down before I pull the whole thing apart to get the chassis like powder coated and make it all nice. And I'll most likely wrap the car just because I think it's easiest to wrap race cars because they just get so beat up. But I have not decided on the color. So I mean, you guys can leave a suggestion down below. The thought that we were leaning closest to was like the EM1 blue, like the Civic Si blue, and then powder coat the whole chassis like a Nardo gray
That'd be cool.
with like some nice like flake in the blue. I don't know yet though, but we'll see. I'm open to any suggestions at the moment. I also really love an all white car, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I just know I don't want it black, especially being out here. It gets so hot. So I'd probably lean between either all white or the whole car being like a gray or blue. So you guys let me know.
Nardo gray is hard to beat.
Yeah, I love Nardo gray.
There may be some small stuff we come across as we're doing it, but
Yeah, well, and it's nice because CJ's only half an hour away from me, so if there's any little thing he needs or just whatever, I mean, I'm just basically right down the road.
yep.
So I think this will work out pretty good. And then after we're done with the Civic, I'm gonna bring a Odyssey chassis here, and he's gonna build me a Pro Mod Odyssey twin frame rail, and we'll go
You
go
don't
sixes.
need it. You don't need it. Already outruns that. You don't even need to do all that.
How cool. Yeah, if I had an unlimited budget, boys, there would be a Honda Odyssey back there getting a freaking Proline engine in it, and we'd send it. Imagine a Proline Odyssey at World Cup running sixes. I don't even gotta go fives. If it runs like a mid six, I'd be chilling. But that one's a little out of the budget, so 2J Civic here will be the probably the highest caliber car I build for a while until we get those views up. Then the Odyssey the Proline Odyssey will be a thing.
Did we figure out what gear yet, or not really?
I think we need a 370.
370?
I think that's what we need. I got to double check my my notes, but yeah, I believe we need to do a 370 rear, which is geared to go like just over 200 mile an hour at 9,000 RPM in the quarter. Because I double checked with Victor as well. Our 2J is not a dry sump; it's still using the factory wet sump, so we can't turn it as hard. But right about 9,000 RPM is where it should be happy. It is an aluminum rod motor, so that's about where we want the max RPM to be. And the other thing I was going to tell you too is we still also might need to figure out what to do for the wheels, because I'm actually on board with changing the wheels. These are what it came on, these kind of old school style 5-spoke, but I'm not against getting a nice set of,
the wheels make the whole car.
Oh yeah.
Wheels and the way it sits will make the whole car.
Yeah, I think we need to do some wheels for sure.
sure.
Also, I do have one more thing we got to grab out of the truck that I just picked up for this the other night. Check this out, boys. Got the hood, brand new carbon fiber. This is actually the first carbon fiber hood I've ever gotten for one of my vehicles. Yeah. The NSX has a carbon hood, but it came with it. This is my first carbon hood. Look at that thing.
Dang.
Fresh. We're keeping this sucker light. Yeah, we were just telling CJ, I think as of right now on the scales, it's right around 1,600 pounds. We're gonna obviously add some more to that with like the Lexan and stuff, but last time I weighed it, that's about all it was. So I mean, if it can be right around 2,200 with me in it, I mean, and make 12 to 1,400 horsepower, that's gonna be stout.
Yeah, no, it's gonna run good. Like I said, I think it's gonna run better than things. Sure.
Yeah, I got my standards low so it can exceed them easily. But all I want one day is if it touches a 690, that'd be pretty cool. But if it just goes consistent 7s and we can take it on drag and drives, have fun, and make the power consistently and reliably, that's all I want. Because not many people can say they have a reliable 1,400 horsepower Civic that they can drive up and down the road. So that's what we're going for here. But yeah, dude, that hood is sick.
Yeah, it's really nice. Very nice. Who
very
makes
nice.
it?
Simon, I think, right?
Yeah, Simon, you said? Yeah, it's Simon.
Nice hood.
Yeah, it is nice. I got this from a buddy in Orlando. One of those guys that just builds the cars and then parks them out before he even drives them. So got a little discount on that guy.
Perfect.
So is this the level of fabrication we can expect on my car?
Well, this is a little nicer than what we're gonna do on your car, but yeah, this is our higher quality.
Yeah, I don't know if I need it this nice. Yeah, so this is just, a glimpse of what they do over here. This is one of their highest caliber builds over at CJ Race Cars.
This has some of the more expensive plumbing on it, but
Oh yeah, that's the hard plastic.
yeah.
That's nice.
Well, we do a combo. It's a combo line.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, a lot of racers don't know that secret, so that's why we want to come to these guys.
That's right.
They got all the little
Don't
tips
show
and
too
tricks
much.
that make
Blur that out.
things go fast. Okay, yeah, I'll blur it. I'll just cut this whole segment out.
Okay, good.
Yeah. This is just too much valuable information. So here's a chassis of the work they typically do over here. A little bit of a higher level than the Civic is going to be, but I appreciate you guys taking her on.
no problem.
Maybe one day if the Civic gets fast enough, we could upgrade it and do some crazy double frame rail chassis, but
It'll be a 5-second 2J Civic.
a 5-second 2J Civic. Yeah, I'm good with high 6s.
All right.
Lots of Camaros over here.
Yeah, for a long time we had like 6 Camaros, and then somehow at one point we had like 4 El Caminos, which is like really weird. But yeah, Camaros and El Caminos. Now S10s. There's like 4 of everything here.
And now Civics.
And now a Civic. We probably will never have 4 Civics at once. I'm going to be honest.
All right, CJ, by the time I come back, this better be a 5-second Civic.
You better leave more money.
One other thing to touch on, we did mention the brakes. I think we're going to try to do TBMs on this one.
that's where to go.
Go through it, get some fresh TBMs, get her up and going.
I like it.
So I am excited to get this thing knocked out, boys. Hope you guys are too. Just remember, it has to be able to drive on the street, so don't go too crazy.
Oh, no. Everything we got drives on the street.
They're not lying. So, but yeah, we'll be back in hopefully a few weeks and have a pretty much done race car. Well, boys, the 2JZ Civic is in good hands over there at CJ's. Definitely think this was the right move to get that thing done in a reasonable amount of time. Wyatt did an awesome job helping me get it to where it is, but we just got to get that last little bit of the car done, and there's still a lot of small, tedious things that need to happen until that car is able to go down the track. So they're going to help get that knocked out. I'll be making trips over there and get some progress updates as they get it closer to completion. And that's gonna about do it. I did get some stuff in the mail for the Radice's new K series. I will be rebuilding that here very soon as well. And yeah, lots of stuff to get going. I also got the word that we're hoping the permit on the shop might be done, that whole process, by the end of this week, so we can hopefully break ground here soon. So I'm pretty excited about all that stuff happening as well. So that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you later.